Like, let's, pray on this Margarita. He's not going to be born today. And he wasn't,
Mac,
thankfully.
If you could do anything for your future parents, please just stay in there a little bit longer because the salt on this rim is fantastic.
Hey guys, welcome to the official YouTube page for Calm Down with Erin and Charissa. This is where you can watch all of our ridiculous conversations and fun interviews.
We have full shows. We've got pre-games, anything and everything that you guys could want. But first, you're going to have to subscribe. Just hit subscribe right there and you're good to go.
And now you can calm down with us.
Yep. Can you tell that we're reading this off a script? We hope so. All right. We need to calm down and wrap this bad boy up. Press subscribe. Thanks for listening.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio. The thing is, our producer, Ryan, is so angry with us as we welcome everybody back. Ryan, stay on for 2 seconds. Welcome back to the Calm Down podcast, and welcome to the pregame show. Ryan, what did you say when we were not recording?
I said, I can't believe this could have been our best episode we've ever had. But
the shit we were dropping offline was insane.
Well, I'm gonna make the listeners feel better because all of it is going to be talked about at some point. It just needs to be appropriate when it is. That's because I don't want people to feel left out. They're like, why are we listening to stupid podcast then if you don't even talk about the good stuff?
Oh, don't worry. Part of this good stuff is going to be happening all year long.
Oh yeah.
And I'm all for it.
Erin's drinking tea. There's the tea. Welcome, everybody. Ryan is back from his vacation and thrilled to be back in the saddle with us. I am it looks like I have the poor longhorn that died on the ranch is the horn in my head from this little viewing screen.
It looks like it's going through your head.
That's what I'm saying. It's going through my heart right now. I have a lot of heartbreak. Okay. No, that's dramatic. I know. My poor puppy is sick. Okay, are we ready? Pre-game. Here we go. Our favorite anonymous. And by the way, I want to know which one of our coworkers submitted this because the question is coworkers that never shut up about themselves and aren't that interesting.
Is there any way to trace this to Richard Zions, Rich Gross, Rich Russo, Casey Garland,
Charles Woodson, Michael Vick. Who else submitted this question about us? Julian Edelman, is that you? Okay, I don't know. Coworkers that never shut up about themselves and aren't that interesting. How are we dealing? Is the question, comment, and concern.
I have a lot of thoughts on this that I can't say.
Okay, well then while you get your thoughts together, I will say this. Why don't we redirect the questions off of the individual and about things that you guys can both talk about? I don't know, like if you're a cubicle mate, like why are you having to listen to this coworker all the time? Are you in close proximity in your offices or your cubicles? So
are you traveling from LA to site back? I'm sorry.
Are you in the car with this individual? Are you on a cross-country flight? So just redirect the questions and start asking them other questions about other things. Maybe what's going on in the world. Maybe their favorite concert or music, something to like, well, that would get back to them. But like, just redirect the questions off of them and maybe something you guys can both talk about. That's my suggestion.
My coworker, Kevin Burkhart, who may or may not have submitted this about me. No, he is so good about that. And I really appreciate it. Will be, it's like... And I was actually thinking about this today. I miss these guys a lot. Like I've already started thinking about them, and we're going to a dinner this week, just a couple of us. But I miss everybody. There's football news out there. Boys are talking, as Jarrett likes to say about the NHL. Boys are talking. Boys are talking. And I was thinking I'm excited to see them. So when I get to site, again, this is probably one of my coworkers saying this. I'm like, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. I've had 17 coffees and I'm ready for the production meeting. And Kevin is so good about asking whether it's our security or, someone that maybe doesn't get to talk a lot in the group because their name isn't Erin. Hey, so Elvis, what's going on with you? Clinton, how's your wife doing? And I'm like,
so sweet.
You're goddamn right, Kevin Burkhart. Like, how is your wife? Like, he's so good about it.
I really like that. Well, that's Kevin Burkhart is single-handedly the kindest person on the planet, but that that story illustrates what you're talking about. Like, he is so nice. And so in this situation, instead of being annoyed with his coworker, let's turn that frown upside down
Sure.
and switch it up. I like the
Two
question.
guys I'd like to have on before the football season. Ryan, write it down. Al Michaels and Kevin Burkhardt.
Yes. Al Michaels. Get going. I have questions. I just did an interview yesterday with Puka Nacua, and which we can get into in the big show for NFL Films. Speaking of nice people, oh my
the best
gosh. Like, I know that he always has a smile on his face. Like, he's always in a good mood. Anyone that doesn't know who Puka Nacua is, he's a wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams, had an unbelievable rookie season, broke single season records and catches and yards and all sorts of stuff. Comes from a big family. All of his brothers actually got D1 scholarships. He lost his father at a young age, and he just has this incredible outlook on life because of that. And then he also lost his grandmother, who he was very close with, who I found out his real name is not Puka. I'm going to butcher it, so I don't want to say it.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mackay or McKay.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason why he goes by his nickname, Puka, which his grandmother gave him, which means chubby, is because people butchered his first name. But anyways, I go on this rant to just say how kind he is. And it's so refreshing. And the league is in really good hands when you sit down and you have the Kevin Burkhardts of the world in the booth, and also the Puka Nacuas on the field. Speaking of not knowing how to pronounce the next one, you want to take it, babe?
Oh, Fenya Aso man. I started having my 7-year-old dust when we clean the house. I'm getting mom judgment. Thoughts? By who? I think that's amazing. That's called responsibility. I told Max Dole to make me a cup of coffee this morning.
He's not even one yet.
Sure did.
I don't see any problem with this. In fact, my mother, who had 3 jobs growing up, one of those jobs was a house cleaner. We would go and clean houses on the weekend, and I would go with her, and I'd carry the Electrolux vacuum up this big hill of this fancy house. And I remember she would say, I'll give you $5 if you dust, but if you break anything, then you're going to lose money. And so I was so meticulous about dusting and doing all these different things to help her. And it was so important. I didn't even know how important it was at the time for me to go with her, to see her do, again, her 3rd job, but also see that my mom was being employed by this rich, fancy family. And now if we're lucky enough in life to have people help us do things around our house, I always think about that was my mother at one point, or that was, somebody that I know that's had one of these jobs. And so just try to remind myself of that and not just look at them as employees, but look at them as like part of the family. Because my mom, they were mean to her and they dismissive of her. And I remember even at a young age being like, oh, we're the workers. And like, they wouldn't even talk to us, that rich family in Redmond, Washington, you rude people. But yeah, that stuck with me. So I would say keep having your daughter or son, whoever you're having help, keep doing it, because you don't even understand like the lessons that you might be teaching them.
And these people with their thoughts about that, you didn't ask. Why do we feel we need to give our thoughts? Knock it off.
That's a good point.
Oh, this is you.
KT 118. Should I go on my honeymoon right after my wedding, or mini moon, then honeymoon later? Well, I took myself on my own honeymoon because neither of my exes, we went on a honeymoon. So I ended up doing my honeymoon with Steve, actually, who I'm not married to, because I always wanted to go on an Italian honeymoon vacation and no one would ever take me on it. So I finally went on one with Steve and it was wonderful. So I would say, go later, because you have so
much is going on,
so much like excitement post wedding, and you just did all this planning, depending obviously on how involved you were. Also, I mean, my weddings weren't expensive, but I imagine a lot of people spend a lot of money on weddings as well. And if you're lucky enough to have someone else pay for it, or your father, or however that works in your family, that's great. But I would say give it a beat and then have something else to look forward to, because there's this big buildup to a wedding. What do you think? You've had a real honeymoon.
We took ours like a month after, I think, just because we only have like the 3 months of time, with hockey and football season. So we got married right before 4th of July at Yellowstone Club. Then we came back, and then we were like, let's go back. Like, what are we doing? Let's go back to Yellowstone. So we went back there.
Honeymoon was?
No, we went to Greece.
Yeah, I thought it was,
and Italy. Yeah. So yeah.
Did you
we
guys
just went in August.
And you went on a baby moon too, right? Didn't you guys go before Mac was born?
Yeah. I mean, we went like literally for a couple of days to Mexico because we went before our surrogate had the baby, but everybody's like, you're going now? What if she has the baby? So we were like, okay, we could get a plane if we needed to get back to California. Like, let's, pray on this Margarita. He's not going to be born today. He wasn't, Mac, thankfully.
If you could do anything for your future parents, please just stay in there a little bit longer because the salt on this rim is fantastic.
My man did. He was induced and he was well cooked. Cutie pie.
I can't take it. Erin sent me this picture the other day of Mac, which I ask ad nauseum for pictures. And she goes, play it live. So obviously, like when you take a picture, you can do the live version. The picture is Mac, just his cute little head. But when you play it live, it's like he's popping out around the corner. It's my absolute favorite. He's so freaking cute. He's almost 1 year old, a baby boy. Crazy. I can't believe he's already going to be 1 year old.
You better come to his party.
I canceled all my plans that I have with all my
his only
other
friend. You and Steve.
Right. Clapete. I'm so sorry if that's wrong.
Clapete.
Yeah. Mustard beat. Hope. Favorite T-Swift era. I think we answered that, but if we didn't, 1989 is my favorite one. But I'm also really excited to see her perform her new stuff, Tortured Poets Department. Because
I'm really in a moment right now where all I'm playing, obviously, is her, but I feel like that's how I've been for like the last how long. Yeah. And I'm really into But Daddy, I Love Him. I mean, it is emotional.
Okay.
Screaming out the top of my butt. Okay.
Does she have a set like we need to make sure we know.
I got it.
Oh my God.
I sent it. But there's always the surprise songs, which I'm nervous about because as you know, traveling with me, I don't like surprises.
Oh, she does not.
I don't like that there's 2 surprise songs because I'm really nervous.
This gal does not. If I ever threw Erin a surprise party, we would not be friends. It would never. Actually, I don't like surprise parties either. But what do we got here? You're up, sister.
Brandy 88777. How soon after divorce would you recommend dating? I'm going to just go and turn up my air for a second. You answer this one.
She's such an asshole. Oh, how convenient.
Scream up with Daddy,
the old divorce question.
I'm having his baby, but I'm not. Oh, you should see your faces.
Yeah, I hate her. I hate this girl. Okay.
Answer.
The answer to how soon after dating, after a divorce would you start dating? I'd say do not put a time on any of it because you never know. A big fear of mine in getting divorced and probably why I honestly didn't do it sooner is because I was like, oh my God, I've got to go out there and do it again. And I have to date again.
That's exactly what you said.
Are you kidding me? And I was so nervous about yes, there was the shame in getting divorced again, but it was compounded with this idea of I've never been on a dating app. I don't know this world. I don't want to do this. And then I got lucky enough, obviously, to meet Steve in a very organic way through, not even, they didn't even set us up. It was just more of like, this is our friend and he's great and hang out with him and you'll love him. But like, I am very fearful of putting timelines on anything in life because you've got to go with your instinct. If it feels right, you should do it and don't be afraid. Like there's a great song. Carly Pierce wrote this album that like got me through my divorce and it was called 30. I'm going to mess it up, but it got me through, hold on, talk amongst yourself. There was this song and it was like, after date 1, it gets easier. And after date 2, it gets even easier and on and on and on. Hold on. Those of you called 29. And the song was Day 1. Anyone that's going through a divorce, listen to this song called Day 1 by Carly Pierce. And it's like, it is so hard on day 1, but then it gets easier and easier and easier. And it will get you through and get back out there, girl. Or guy.
So basically, to summarize what you just said, it sounds like what you're saying is you have to go by each scenario, right? You can't just go into it saying, I'm never going to date again. I'm never going to get married again. I should just see where I am and go forward that way,
your
right?
Instinct. Follow your instincts. Don't put any kind of time limits on anything because you don't know. And by the way, what works for someone doesn't work for someone else. But I would say get back out there if the individual feels right. Bless you.
What I would say is you've handled it great, but I don't think that past things should shape future things.
This is Erin trying to not just she's trying to think she's discreet in this. She's being very overt about her messaging to me right now because I'm going through something. So fine, let's just talk about it on the podcast, shall we?
On the big show? Ryan's
Let's talk
dream.
about it on the big show. I'd love everyone's opinion and that can help me through the situation I'm in my life. So there's a tease. We'll see you on the big show. Join us on Thursday.
We got one more question.
Oh, we do? Not on my form. Go for it.
Kuhl Ale runs. My teenagers want to plan the summer trip, but time is ticking. Do I take the reins? Yes, because before you know it, summer will be over. Summer's already over for us. It's over.
It's over. She's been over. Yeah. Our pregame's over. We'll join you on the big show.
Thank God.
Join us.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.